Okay, so this is Dr. Sampson. I am Dr. Sampson, and I'm going to go over the syllabus for you guys. You can actually find this in your modules in your Canvas. So of course, everyone has to have Patriot Mail, so anything that comes up for the school, you can get into it. Plus, you need to be able to get into Canvas because that's how you'll check your grades. And of course, that's where you're going to find the information to study for this class. Okay, so this is the syllabus. This is for all of the sections. For this is 2085, sections 5, 7, 8, and 9. And I actually can use this recording also for the lab, where there's just a little bit of change for the lab as well. So, and of course, you will see as we go through the changes, and I'll let you know well in advance for anything that's coming up as far as tests or quizzes or anything like that. It will be posted through a Zoom recording, which you'll be able to find right there in whatever section we're in. Okay. All right. So let's go through it first. Of course, again, this is 2085 sections 5, 7, 8, and 9. So I actually have 4 of these classes. So my office is 218B, which is upstairs in building 2. And of course, we don't have any online or on-campus office hours. Everything is online. Okay. Let's see. The phone number here in this office is 352-873-5800, extension 1230. I have a cell phone of 613-1157. Use this for text only. You can, that's probably the fastest way to get a hold of me. I am a chiropractor. I do have an office in Crystal River. So I am there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I'm here, or rather it can be gotten a hold of on the other days, or as according to the door schedule. So text is the fastest way to get a hold of me. Feel free to use that. Don't call me unless I say go ahead and give me a call. Just text, okay, on that cell phone number. That makes it easier. And by the way, if you don't tell me who you are or what class you're in, I probably won't answer you. All right. So anytime you send me some information, you need to put your data in there, like who you are and what class you're in. Otherwise, I won't respond to it generally. Okay. Make sure that you read the announcements on a daily basis. Make sure they don't change. It's your job to keep up with the announcements as they come out. And before you start texting me questions like when is the test, make sure you go through and read the announcements. All right, because generally, if a test is coming up or a quiz is coming up, it is already scheduled. It's already through the announcements and that kind of stuff. Okay. Obviously, you guys, I had some of you guys pointed out that in Canvas there was some due dates that were already slated to go through. Obviously, your final exam is not due already, so just relax. None of that stuff is due. None of the tests are due. We got to get through the material first. Okay. So as of right now, you should already have started Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. There'll be a Zoom meeting or a Zoom recorded session here shortly coming up for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Okay. In the meantime, you still should be going through the material. Remember, guys, all this stuff is online. Okay, so that's how you study, is online. So if you don't know how to do that, you need to work at it to make sure that you can learn how to do that. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the Zoom stuff. That's typically, I will talk to you through announcements and describe how we will do Zoom stuff. There may be some times when we want to do some live Zoom times, which I'll give you enough time in advance to get onto that. Kind of what I'm planning on doing is doing lecture recorded classes and then get together with you, or try and get together at certain times for Zoom, which I will put the Zoom link and the password to get into that meeting and the time. And what I may do, because we have 4 sections of this class 2085, I may put all the sections so that all 4 sections can come to the meeting and time at the same time and ask the questions. The other thing is you guys have discussion boards in Canvas. you should be using those, and you need to get a hold of people that are in this class, and you need to make sure that you learn or get their phone numbers or emails or text numbers, you know, whatever, so that you can have communication with people. When you don't understand something, you can bounce it off of them, okay? So get in your discussion boards. You guys can do Zoom meetings as well. You can set up your own Zoom meetings with your classmates. Don't be afraid to do that. And everybody in here, in these classes, is all in the same boat. They all have to learn Anatomy 1. And it's really, if we were in class, I would be telling you, you must get into study groups. Study groups are how you get through this stuff. It's how you understand the material a lot better, bouncing it off of each other. So that is really important. Something else I would like to point out is when you guys are studying, you cannot be in a crowded room. You cannot have the TV going. You cannot have, you know, your mom or dad, your brothers and sisters, your kids, if you're a returning adult, whatever. You cannot have people, you know, distracting you when you're trying to go through this material, or you're trying to read and understand. Been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you the people that actually can pull away from all that stuff and spend the quiet time to get to study do much better. All right. The other thing is I guarantee you, by show of hands, how many people, go ahead, put your hands up. I'm just kidding, I can't see you. How many guys have good study habits, right? Okay, so think about that for yourself. I mean, do you know yourself well enough to know that you have, your study habits are sufficient? Most of you are not, and whether you want to admit that or not, most of you are not. You say, oh, I'll get to it, or I'll do this later, or I'll put it off till next week. Well, trust me, there's a lot of material for this, and the fact that we're not in a classroom setting where I can give you the material means that you have to do it on your own. Okay, it's really important that you do it on your own, and don't cram. This is what I'm talking about, study habits. If you think that you're going to learn all this material in 2 days, or even 4 days, or 5 days, after we've been studying for 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and we've gone to 2 chapters of material, you are sadly mistaken. It will not stay. All right, and trust me on that, it will not stay. Okay. All right, so that's when you get to the lecture point. That is this first red bullet here that says, don't cram. You're not going to do well if you do. Okay. Remember, this is a new language for a lot of you. Some of you have had anatomy classes before, and some of you haven't. This is a new language. You have to start learning the language of anatomy if you're going to be in the medical field. Most of you are. And you have to be able to speak this language. And so it's, how much time do you have to put in to learn a new language? Well, not only do you have to do the vocabulary, but you have to be able to use it in context. Okay. So the process, as you get down further underneath the red one there, it says process. Watch the lecture, read the appropriate chapters and sections in the book, take notes, write down questions. Watch the lecture again and attend Zoom meetings that I was talking about. So live face-to-face Zoom meetings, so you can ask questions if you have them, and additional clarification. Now again, you can text me those questions. If I start getting a lot of questions, then what I'll do is I will actually have a Zoom meeting and discuss some of that. Okay. Speak of the devil, I have a student here. Okay. Anyway. I will check into that in a minute. Okay. Okay, so watch the lecture, read appropriate chapters and sections in the book, take notes, and write down questions. Watch the lecture again, which is nice in the Zoom stuff because you can watch the lecture as many times as you need it. Watch the lecture again and then attend Zoom meetings for additional clarification. All test times for quizzes and tests, and the final will be explained at least a week in advance. There are no pop quizzes, so I don't do pop quizzes. Tests or any other stuff. All material tested on comes from your textbook. So anything that I'm going to have a test on or do anything like that is actually going to come from your textbook. Okay, it's going to come from your textbook. We're all attached to everything, aren't we? AirPods, phones, and Apple Watches. What did we do without all this stuff before, right? Okay. All right. All right, so I'm going to the next page there. So again, all material comes directly from your textbooks. By the way, this is your lab book. Oops, is that right? How do you do that? All right, well, it doesn't like to go, how do you do that? Anyway, I'm not gonna mess with that. Okay, so that's your lab book. The one that's in um, the one that's in the syllabus, I think, has a rock climber on it. It's okay. This one is just the one that the school had made. It's for the cat dissection. So if you got this one, that's fine. Right, the other thing is, let me reach over this right here. This one. Okay, so this is, you see the person doing yoga here. This is the purple 11th edition textbook that you will need. In addition to these two textbooks, you must have your camera with a microphone. Okay, camera with a microphone. You have to have one. So don't fight it. Just go get it. And then you have to get the code for both of them, for this one and this one. They're not the same. They're not the same. Okay, you must have the two different codes. We're going to have tests and quizzes that come from the Pearson section, the Pearson book. And the only way to get to those are to go into Pearson and then look at them. As a matter of fact, I think I got a quiz set up for you guys for Monday, starting Monday, and you'll have a week to get through that quiz. 1 week. I'm only going to leave it open for a week, okay? So that, and it's not an hour, it's not 15 minutes. You got a week to get through it. Oh, I don't have a textbook. Oh, I don't know where to go. Figure it out. All right, that's the whole process of doing this. I know it sucks for you guys a little bit, but you can figure it out, okay? So that gives you a week, all right? And listen, as far as the textbooks go and all that stuff, there's nothing for me to do to help you. I don't know how to help you get your textbook faster. So I have stuff that I have to get through. You need to figure out how to get your textbook, okay? Right? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying it's not up to me to make sure that you have your textbook. That's your guys' deal, okay? All right. All right, so I already told you where my text office is. With COVID-19, the requirements in place, all classes will be online functions. You will be the one who must ensure that you learn chapter material. Please make sure that you're learning the material as we proceed through it, each of the chapters. So it just says, you know, you got to do your work. This is Anatomy 1. The book, the access codes for both lab and lecture are required, okay? Camera with a microphone is required. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if we're doing they want us to do Honor Lock, all right? And I don't know if you guys know what Honor Lock is, but Honor Lock is a program that I install that you have to go through Canvas to get to the test. If that goes down the way that I'm working on trying to get that set up, you guys can't open up other tabs on your computer. You can't even use your phone to go to to do stuff, to look up stuff. It picks up the noise of what you're doing. So if you have a bunch of shuffling papers, it'll record all that. Then I get an alert here, and then I can watch you going through the thing. So listen, when you're taking a test and you're going through Honor Lock is there. It's a proctor. It's someone basically through a camera watching you, okay? So if you're taking a test, don't think you're going to get away with cheating or going through and opening the book if the book is supposed to be a closed book test, okay? So don't do something stupid and do cheating and get caught on it, because I will throw you out of the class, okay? All right, so if you're supposed to be taking a test and the book it's supposed to be closed and no notes, and I'm trying to find out if you have the material inside your brain, don't try and cheat, okay? It's not helping you. This is the basics for getting into a nursing program or into whatever field you're going into. And if you don't learn this material, why the heck are you in college? Okay, it doesn't even make sense to try and cheat. Just learn the material, okay? This is the basics. It's gonna take you a long way. You have to know all this stuff so that you can perform the duties. Example would be, where is the radial artery so I can feel a pulse in a patient, right? So if you don't know where that is, then how can you do that? So my point with that is well, you understand. Don't cheat. You have to learn this material anyway. Just get it done, right? And every one of you out there can do it. I say this all the time. You just have to be motivated enough to get it done, okay? So if you have problems and too much life going on, maybe you ought to reevaluate when you can get into a classroom and drop the class so that you, if you need to wait till we're actually back on campus. That's not for me to decide, that's for you to decide. But if we do honor lock and I do catch you looking at your phone or something that appears inappropriate, I will just give you a 0 and drop you out of the class, okay? So I don't play that, not into it. You guys are adults, figure it out, okay? Again, this is COVID has thrown a curveball at us. This changes nothing on what you're required to learn, okay? So the fact that we're online courses doesn't mean anything, all right? It just means that we're just giving you the information in a different way. It means you have to work harder, unfortunately, okay? It means you have to work harder. Again, I will help you as much as you need help if you're coming to the Zoom meetings that we will have, if you're doing the work that needs to be done. If you are texting me and saying, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. And, you know, again, that's what the text is for. And we can even call if I'm available. I can call you and we can talk about particular items. So don't be afraid to text me and ask if you have a time where we can sit down and have a chat. Okay. All right. So just, okay. All right. So listen, when we have tests that come up, all right, when we have tests that come up, you're going to have a specific time that you need to take the test, okay? You will have a specific time that you need to take the test. If you miss a test, you're going to get a 0, and I'm not going to open it back up for you, okay? All right, so this is all online stuff. There should be no reason why you can't get a test done at some specified time. If there's enough time in advance, even if you're working, you can say, well, I assume that all of your employers know that you're working or that you're in classes and that would understand that you need to be away from whatever for an hour, hour and a half to take a test. Now, I will endeavor to make that as easy as I can for everybody, and so we can work on that. Okay. Okay. All right. So listen, computer problems, they're not my deal. Okay. Your emergencies are not mine. Okay. So if you know that you already have an internet problem or a computer problem, you know, guys know that you can come here to the campus and you can sign into the campus. They're actually putting out the signal out into the parking lot, so you can actually go out into the parking lot and get on the internet. Okay, and that's obviously free to you, so you can do that. So if you're having those problems and you know you're going to have those problems, then you need to find a way around that. Okay, so whatever that needs to, go to your mom's house or something, or go to your friend's house or whatever. Okay. Now listen, okay, so I put in here cell phones. Okay, so listen, cell phones don't get it done. When you're trying to bring up pictures and things like that of the test, cell phones are not going to always show the picture. So some of you are going to be like, I don't understand, I don't see pictures. It's happened to me so many times, I can't tell you, where someone keeps calling me up and says, I can't access pictures. And I'm like, keep telling them, you cannot get it through your cell phone, okay? You can't do this through your cell phone. You have to have a desktop or a laptop, okay? So all the other ways that you're trying to get through this, you cannot do it through a cell phone. So just get it out of your head about using a cell phone for anything other than just checking your grades, okay? And by the way, you are responsible to check for your grades, okay? So don't come to me, you know, a week before finals and say, why do I have a 0 on this test? Or why did I get such a bad score? Blah, 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 whatever. All right, so I will be happy to entertain and talk to you about what you did wrong or what the problem is with a grade, or, you know, something that got input, okay, on Canvas a few weeks afterwards, up to 2-3 weeks. But you start putting it into now, and then December you come to me and say, why is this way? I'm just not going to help you. I'm just going to be like, listen, I don't have time to try and figure out what you did from way back then. So it's your job to stay on top of it. It's your job to make sure that it didn't put a 0 in a test. Okay, so make sure you stay on campus. You have to be on campus, and you have to be responsible for making sure your grades. Of course, I'm not going to do that on purpose. I would never do that. But, you know, I'm only human, and by the way, that's 4 classes of this section. That's 120 students, plus I have 4 sections of lab, and that's another 100. So that's 220 students I have, and I'm answering texts, not to mention all that other stuff. So low priority to make sure that you, December, checking on December about a test in whatever this is, August. Okay, so that's not high on my priority list. Okay, so make sure that you stay on top of it, please. It's really important. No cell phones. Just get it out of your head. Cell phones they're not helpful. And by the way, cell phones are not going to work for your camera and your microphone, because if you're going to take a test through HonorLock, the HonorLock has you do a few steps that you have to go through that requires the camera and the microphone on the computer you're using. Okay. All right, so in lecture cloud, we have 65% of your lecture is your grade for your lecture test, 25 for the final, which is cumulative, and 10% for quizzes. Now, these grades, the way things are going, they should be online, okay? In other words, your tests and your quizzes and your final all should be online, okay? So look for that. I don't do individual extra credit, so don't even ask, right? I don't have time to keep up with all that. There's no individual extra credit. You need to just pass the class. You just need to do the work and understand the material and get it done, okay? Again, I will help you as much as you are working. I will work as hard as you're working. So if you're not doing anything or not following up, then I don't know what to tell you. But make sure that you're doing the work, and I will help you as much as I can, okay? Listen, if you decide that you want to drop this class, you have to withdraw, okay? So if you just stop coming, you're just going to get zeros, and you're going to end up with a failing grade at the end. Okay, so, but if you want to pull out of this class, it's fine. That's up to you. I understand it's crazy with COVID, but I'm not going to do it for you. So in other words, I'm not going to do the work that's required to get out of the class. That's a withdrawal, and that comes through. You have to go through the school. You have to go through the process. I think now they'll do an email to me saying that this student wants to withdraw, or you'll have to send me an email, which you can initiate that again by texting. And again, that's on the list there, 613-1157. That's my cell phone, and that's how you can text to me and say, hey, Doc, because I'm not always on campus, check your email. I've got something I sent to you that you need to acknowledge and send back to the school or back to me so that I can withdraw from the class. Okay, no problem. Of course, I might try and talk you out of it, but anyway. Academic integrity, if you guys we're doing HonorLock and you get caught, not only will I throw you out, but you'll also get what's called an FF, okay? The FF is a function of basically academic integrity, and then you'll have to sign up for a course, which you have to pay for. So if you're taking a test and it requires that you're no notes, no book, no phone, no extra stuff, nobody talking to you, nobody helping you with the questions, anything like that, then do it. Do it the right way, okay? Sorry, that was my computer said, no, we've been here too long. Okay, so anyway, that really takes care of the syllabus. Again, don't get excited about the dates. You guys are going to know the dates for the tests, for the Zoom meetings. Everything's going to come through announcements. Just read your announcements. You should read them, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. If something new comes in, I don't know, so most of you guys have it set up when something new comes into Canvas, you get an alert. Okay, so just keep looking at your announcements. Follow directions. It's really important that you follow the directions as they are stated. Okay. Last semester when we were finishing up, I had some students that couldn't understand language. Not that they were foreigners, they just weren't reading the details of the announcements that were putting out, and they ended up doing poorly in the class because they didn't know when to submit. I would have people submit without putting their name or their information, their course number or anything. And to be honest with you, I'm just not going to go hunt that down. If you're going to send me something without your name and your student ID and the class and section on it, well, you'll know what you got when you get that 0. So, all right. So make sure that you are, everything that you send to me, even text, if you send me something through the phone, I need your name and student ID on that. Okay. It's, some of you guys are worried about all this stuff. Well, I'm not your enemy. I'm not here to, have a battle with you on this stuff. You have to do it right. You have to go through the process. You have to learn the material. But I'm here for you. All right. So you can, again, text me, let me help you. Let me do whatever we can to get you through this stuff in the best way that we can. Okay. So be flexible on dates and test times and things like that. I will let you know well in advance when tests are coming up. There's no pop quizzes, no pop tests, no pop anything. All right. Everything will be spelled out easily. We'll have Zoom meetings. I'll even probably have a Zoom pre-test meeting review of the test material coming up. Okay, so that then you will have even a better understanding. Again, I go through, when I teach this stuff, I go through the chapter itself. So you don't have to guess where the material is coming from. It comes from the book, okay? Both lab and lecture. Now, let me jump into lab real quick. Okay, so what we talked about was very generic for both of the lecture and lab. If you have my lab class, you got to have the book, right? In the back of this, each of these chapters is worksheets. All right, now you need to make sure that you are doing the worksheets. And this one is the worksheet number 4, and it's the microscope. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're doing this worksheet. Okay, not just this worksheet, but all the worksheets from each of the sections as you're going through. And you'll find that in lab class that this book does go through and kind of match what's in the lecture class. Okay, so make sure that you're going through that. Okay, in doing the chapter material, doing the worksheets. Make sure you do in chapter all the drawings in the chapter, all the drawing stuff at the back of the section. Do all the sections that you can do. There are some portions of the worksheets that are actually their measurements and things of that nature that how can you do that? You're not here, all right? That's not an issue. Just skip over that section, all right? We'll talk about each of the sections as we go, or I will talk about that in the Zoom recorded lecture so that you will see it, okay? Now, the goal for me is to use that worksheet for your quiz grades. All right, that's the goal for me for the lab classes, to use those worksheets for your quiz grades. Okay, we'll deal with that when it comes time for that. I won't put quiz grades in until the end of the semester. I think I have it set up right now to do 3 tests for you guys in lab class, which will cover all the material through the sections up to whatever we get to when we have that first test. Okay, so again, you'll know in advance. I'll go through and do a Zoom recording for lab as well as one for lecture. So you should see it show up there. Okay. Now the nice thing about the Zoom recordings is that you can then watch those as many times as you want. Remember, you're gonna have to go through the book. If your guy's one of those persons that doesn't read the chapter, you're making a huge mistake. Okay, you have to read the chapter. Okay, it's dry. It takes a long time to get through it, but you still have to read it no matter what. So this is where you need to buckle down. This is why online class studies people do so poorly at, is because they don't have the self-discipline to get through this material. Okay, so really important that you get on top of yourself and stay on top of the material. If you are letting it go because you have other things to do, work's in the way, family, whatever, you're making a huge mistake and your grade is going to pay for it. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I've seen it a million times. Okay, all right, again, I'm Dr. Sampson. You can call me Doc, Dr. Sampson. I am a chiropractor, and I do have a chiropractic office in Crystal River. You can get a hold of me through that text number, which is 613-1157. You can email me through, what is it, samsone@cf.edu. Okay, samsone@cf.edu. So you can email me that way. Again, I'm not at my office, I'm not online, but that doesn't mean I won't be checking it more now that we're doing all this online stuff. So you can email me too if you need that. All right, so if you have any questions on this, you can use that text number and send me a text and I'll try and answer it, okay? I know that some of you guys are worried, but please, again, I can't stress this enough, relax. I'm not gonna screw you, just take it easy, okay? We're gonna get through the material together. Your job, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. I'm not gonna pop anything on you, just relax, get the material done, okay? Start on chapter 1 and 2, and then we'll talk about the quizzes coming up next week, and we'll talk about the test. Okay, so you have all week next week to do the quiz that you should see on Monday. I think it should pop up and be able to go to. Oh, that reminds me. My Lab and Mastering is where you have to go. You don't need a course ID, but you have to go through My Lab and Mastering tab in your course, all right, to get to Pearson. Some of you are like, I don't have the book. Don't worry about it. Go into My Lab and Mastering and go through there and do the chat. And I think there's even a tab or something that will take you to a 2-week free trial period. Just do that until you get your book, but you got to get your book, okay? You got to have your code, because if you don't have your code, you can't take the test. There's no way to do that. Okay, what else? Get in your groups, find people that are in your same boat that need help, will help you study, and we'll go from there, okay? All right, so I'm out. I will do a Zoom recording of chapter 1 and chapter 2, and you should be able to see that here in the next couple hours, right? It's all been technical difficulties trying to figure all this stuff out, but we're getting it, okay? All right, that's it.